So we finally arrive at the bit I've been dreading, which is putting the turtle deck on. Um, Only because it's a huge bent piece in tension, and I'm sure it's going to be a pig to fit and get to look nice. But anyway, we'll see. So what I've done so far is I've taken the left-hand skin. We're looking aft at the moment, so the left-hand skin is on the right. Got the left-hand skin. I've inserted it between the left-hand side skin of the tail cone and the top longeron, and I have positioned it and I've pre-drilled it all the way down the side through the tail cone skin and the left turtle deck skin and the longeron before joining the two together, because I've got very limited height here, and even with just the left hand skin it's almost touching the ceiling, and it was just looking as if it was going to be a pain in the arse to do it that way round, so couldn't see a reason not to. So I have pre-drilled the left hand skin. I'm now going to join the two skins together, having previously assembled and clecoed the splice channel. And so we've got the channel underneath, the right hand skin on the channel, and now the left hand skin is going to go over the top of the right hand skin, going to cleco it all the way down the spine and then drill it up to rivet size, strip it apart, deburr it, and then rivet it all the way along the spine, so that we've got one piece, which is the left hand skin, the splice channel and the right hand skin connected together. Then we'll take it over to the tail cone, reinsert it in between the outer skin and the longeron, cleco it into place, bend it over, insert it on this side, position it, and then drill it. And I've temporarily mounted the two ends formers, that's former number 1 and former number 5, just so that I can check that everything is going well. Anyway, that's what I've been doing over the last few hours, and I'll let you know how I get on. So a bit more progress since the last video. I completed riveting the two halves of the turtle deck together, and that went on really nicely. You can see the join all the way down there, beautiful and flat, no problems at all. So once they were joined together, we re-clecoed the left one to the tail cone, and then flopped it over, and it's now drilled and clecoed into the right hand side. And we've used the instructions, which basically say to make the overlap about an inch, well, exactly an inch. So we marked on the top side of the skin 1 inch in from the edge, and then fed it in between the longeron and the side of the tail cone until all the marks lined up all the way along. Almost impossible to clamp it in place, so Katie and I sort of held it in place, and I managed to drill one end and then drill the other end, get a couple of clecos in, and then clecoed it or drilled and clecoed it from there. But there we go. So that's the turtle deck in position. Next I'm going to put the former number 5 in and get that positioned and clecoed into place, and then it tells us to put former number 2, which is the one that goes in here, in next. Although I am just going to have a little play with former number 1 as well, just to make sure everything's lining up and see whether there's anything I need to bend before getting it fitted. So that's where we are at the moment. It's looking pretty good. Looks like it should do, I think, and I'll update you on the progress as we go. Bit of a tricky little job to get former number 5 in, which is the first one to pop in there, mainly because there's not enough room for a 6'1", well-built, bit overweight, fat person to get up underneath into that space there and work on it from the other side. So it was a little bit tricky, but got there in the end. It's a good fit all the way around. I'm quite pleased with it. It's gone on nicely, and all the holes line up nicely, so quite pleased with that. But it's all pilot drilled now, and so what I've been doing is having a look at the other end. I know it says to do former number 2 first, but I couldn't resist the temptation to put the rest of former number 1 in. And that actually fits extremely well all the way around. I've had to bend the tabs on the former itself in because they were pushing the side out. Probably needed a little tiny bit more, but actually it's a nice fit all the way around. And you can see the former there is sticking out a little bit, needs bending in to allow the skin to sit tight against the side. But all in all, it doesn't look as if it's going to be that tricky to do that part. I've actually got the turtle deck splice channel attached to the back of the front former and former number 5 down at the back end, so everything's rigid now, and it's looking good. It doesn't look as if it's going to be too much of a job, technically. Physically, getting myself inside here to actually attach the formers is going to be really difficult to position and drill them. But what I could do with is a midget, or I've got some friends who are very small. I could do with them to come and sort it out for me. I've fitted former number 2 now, so I've got former number 5 down the far end, and both former number 2s, the left and the right, fitted, drilled and clecoed, and it's all looking very good in there. Perfected the method for doing it, I think. So basically I've taken the former and scored a line right down the centre of the edge of the former, and then clamped the former in position at the top and the bottom with spring clamps, not the clecos, but the actual these things, spring clamp, and then marked from the outside the center pin. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the center pin there. So to start off with, I just marked through onto the former, and then took it out, and then wherever the mark came, I drilled it on the score line. So used the mark to tell me where to drill it on the score line. Then put it back in there, clamped it internally, and stuck the cleco in, and then marked from the middle one up to the top, through all the holes, took it out, again normalized all the marks to the center line, and then drilled those, put it back in, marked all the ones down to the bottom, normalized those marks against the score line on the center of the former, and drilled them, and then put it back in again, and lo and behold, all the holes line up, and seemed like a good procedure. Once I was happy with that, then I drilled the holes for the fixings at either end, so into the splice channel brackets and the top and side cross members. So that's worked well for this one, and I'm just about to do former number 3. More later.